Julia Trubkina and Brandon Gibbs, the couple who first won hearts on 90 Day Fiance, have faced their fair share of ups and downs in their 5-year marriage. From cultural differences to family drama, their journey has been anything but easy. Now, with 90 Day, the last resort Season 2 shedding light on their relationship struggles, fans are left wondering, does Julia still want to have a baby with Brandon? Julia first addressed the topic of having children in May 2023, expressing her perspective on societal expectations. She emphasized that whether she had been married for 3 years or 10, there was no obligation to have children. Julia revealed that she and Brandon had never actively tried to conceive, as starting a family had never been their goal. She refused to let societal norms dictate the right time for parenthood. However, in the same post, Julia made a surprising statement: "We may never have children." She explained that no one truly understood what was happening in her and Brandon's lives. The couple was focused on resolving significant questions about their future. Julia also disclosed that she was dealing with health issues, though she did not specify their nature. She admitted that she needed to process the idea of having children on her own terms. "In general, everything happens gradually," she concluded, leaving her thoughts open-ended. Brandon and his parents were forcing Julia to have children shortly after Julia shared her thoughts on not having children, implying that it was a mutual decision with Brandon. He posted a separate message on Instagram that suggested otherwise. Brandon revealed that he frequently received questions about having kids and was even asked directly for his thoughts on the matter. He acknowledged that no one is ever 100% ready for such a big step, but hinted that a part of Julia might already be considering it, saying, "Why not start trying?" He went on to mention that "we had a conversation about it, but Julia ultimately said no." While he didn't clarify who "we" referred to, it was widely assumed he meant his parents, Betty and Ron Gibbs. Despite his own feelings, Brandon admitted that he couldn't and wouldn't make such a decision without Julia's agreement. Later, in October of the same year, Brandon shed light on another major factor influencing their hesitation. Reflecting on families with multiple children, he admitted, "We are afraid that we cannot afford one child." Julia refused to come to a compromise. Julia showed her support for Brandon's post by liking it, signaling that they were on the same page. Over the past few months, the couple appeared to have set aside their differences and agreed to wait before making any decisions about having children. It seemed they weren't fully ready, both emotionally and financially, and had chosen to delay the conversation until the time was right. However, tensions resurfaced during an episode of 90 Day, The Last Resort, where Brandon accused Julia of backing out after they had supposedly reached a compromise. Julia questioned their relationship dynamics, asking, "If you want and I don't want, like, what point are we together?" She firmly stated, "Brandon doesn't understand, he doesn't have a choice on that." Brandon reminded Julia that she had previously been open to the idea of having children, but she quickly corrected him, clarifying that she was only open to talking about it, not actually having a child. She reiterated to the therapist that she didn't want kids and didn't feel she could compromise on the matter. In response, Brandon admitted that if Julia refused to compromise on having children, then he wasn't willing to compromise on another major issue: bringing her parents to the U.S. from Russia. Despite his objections, Julia remained determined to make it happen, regardless of how Brandon felt. Julia revealed her Russian doctor's painful diagnosis. In later episodes, Julia shared heartbreaking news about her decision not to have children with Brandon. It wasn't just a choice, there was a deeper medical issue involved. Struggling to express her emotions, she tearfully explained, "When I say I don't want kids, it's because I'm so scared to face reality. I can't have kids." Julia broke down as she revealed that she had begun discussing the possibility of having children with Brandon and had even traveled to Russia to consult a doctor. "I went to the doctor, took a full fertility test, and they told me I can't have kids because of something inside my body." Brandon encouraged her to seek a second opinion in the U.S., but Julia explained that medical care in America was expensive. While visiting her family in Russia, she decided to undergo a full-body checkup. She already knew she had some long-standing health issues, but she never expected to hear that she might not be able to have children. Did Julia get a second opinion in the U.S.? Julia was hesitant to seek a second opinion, as hearing she couldn't have children once was already devastating. She wasn't sure she could handle receiving the same heartbreaking news again. However, Brandon didn't want her to give up just yet. He pointed out that medical opinions can vary and encouraged her to see another doctor. But Julia feared that confirming her infertility could put even more strain on their relationship. Brandon made it clear that he still wanted to have children and wasn't ready to let go of that dream. He believed they could face the challenge together and find a way forward. Julia, however, worried that if a second doctor confirmed her fears, Brandon would eventually leave her. "No, absolutely not," Brandon reassured her. He promised that no matter what happened, he wasn't going anywhere. He reminded her that there were other options and vowed to support her both physically and emotionally, no matter the outcome of a new diagnosis.